I'm Lupo.
I'm Lee.
And today we're going to go see a special fan version of the new Fantastic Beasts movie.
Right.
Now, theoretically, it's going to be opening up on Thursday, but today's Tuesday, and tonight was the fan release.
Got it.
And one of the things we got is we got posters. I don't know if you got your posters. We got posters, and we also got pins for this, and I'll show you the pins.
Right.
You can get a Niffler or a bull truckle.
Alrighty.
If I can pronounce that correctly.
Yep.
Anyhow, you get pins and you got a poster, and we got to see it days early.
Let's go
Anyhow,
see it.
we're going to go see it right now.
All right. See you later.
Three, two, one. We just saw the Fantastic Beasts film. And we have two people who saw the film in the theater with us, and we're going to get their opinions, and these are our guests. So would you please introduce yourselves?
My name's Cherry, like the fruit.
Oh, Cherry. Hi, Cherry.
And
my
my
favorite
name's
fruit, by the way.
Sarita.
Sarita.
Yeah.
Cherry and Sarita. Oh, well, thank you for subjecting yourself to punishment.
To our interview here.
Right.
So, like we said during the introduction, this is the second in the Fantastic Beasts series. It officially releases Friday. I'm actually going to be putting this video up before Thursday.
Of course, yeah. which is
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, it's good. You guys,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you'll see our review ahead of time.
This is one of our earliest reviews. The earliest review we've probably ever done. I don't think we've gone to a movie on a Tuesday.
Usually they release it on a Thursday. Today was
Yep.
the fan preview.
Yep.
It was like $20,
Yay,
and we got the
some good
posters, and then
and we got pins.
we got pins.
I gave him mine.
Yeah.
That's how much of a fan I am. I gave him mine.
Yeah. So these were your gifts. Now, when they first did the fan showing of Fantastic Beasts, the first film, we got a poster and we got Newt's wand. Everybody got Newt's wand, so that was kind of cool. So let's start off with overall story. How did you like the story?
Let our guests
Let's
go
with
first.
our
Overall
guests.
story. Just stick to that. Overall
Okay.
story. What'd you think, Cherry?
Overall story was good. Without trying to give away too much.
Yeah, we do
No
no
spoilers.
spoilers.
No
Can't
spoilers.
do any spoilers.
Yeah.
It's very good, but it's a bridge. It's a bridge to the next film.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, and
Yeah.
that's good because that's what I thought too. And Sarita?
I really enjoyed the story. Like she said, it was kind of like a lead over to the next. You know?
Absolutely.
Did you?
But it did answer some questions.
Did you think that the first Fantastic Beasts was a bridge to something? Was it a bridge
Yes.
to this one?
It was, but I feel
I
as though
expected more.
Yeah.
It was
Only
a start.
because Johnny Depp's character was introduced at the very end of that
Right,
movie.
absolutely.
So literally, the bridge started at the end of the first movie.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so it's basically a continuation.
The first film could, if you cut out the end, could have been a standalone film.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, what's your opinion, Mark?
In what way? Story?
Story.
Okay, here we go. Major Potter fans here, okay, and I'm a Potter fan too because I'm putting this all into the J.K. Rowling world of all. I struggled with this.
Oh, really?
Yes, I actually
Interesting.
did. I struggled to it only because I honestly think it jumped around a little too much. I think that if they had eliminated maybe one, maybe two storylines, the romance between, see, I'm bad on names, that's why I'm not the Potter fan, but what's her name's sister, the blonde, and
Queenie.
Right, Queenie, and the Muggle.
Yeah, Jacob.
Either develop that a little bit more deeply for me, or I understand what happened in the movie, but it seemed to me that it was just thrown in there for really unnecessary reasons, even though they still had to follow up with it in the next movie. That's fine, and
I
that's
absolutely
exactly.
disagree.
We all can't agree,
right.
otherwise
But
this
I'll
would be
tell
a
you. I'll tell you
lousy
why I
YouTube
disagree
channel.
on that,
Okay.
and the reason why is I think the whole purpose for Queenie and Jacob's relationship to
Queenie and Jacob, yes,
Queenie
okay.
and Jacob to be emphasized in this film
Yeah.
is because it's going to be a big deal in the next film.
Well, see, now somebody like me would not know that.
Well,
Okay,
no,
I'm going
well, the thing is
strictly
to me,
on-
it was obvious that the only reason to bring that up and for how it developed is because it's going to be important on the next film.
You know what? But the only other problem with that is that is a cliche storyline.
Oh, absolutely. But,
I've seen
but
that.
we saw
You
it in
see
Star
everywhere.
Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
You know,
I
it's
mean,
like- and
realistically,
without any doing any spoilers or anything
yeah,
like that.
realistically, to me, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was actually really, really well done. But it was, so let's go back to the original trilogy, all right? And when I say original trilogy, I'm talking Star Wars, not Lord of the Rings, because it's all about Star Wars, right? Lord of the Rings was great, but when you talk about the original trilogy, it's always Star Wars. And if you disagree, so what?
Right.
This was The Empire Strikes Back. It's where they took a bunch of stuff, threw it together, and when the film ended, you're like, what's going to happen?
My problem with that is The Empire Strikes Back was my favorite Star Wars movie. This being so-called Empire Strikes Back, the first Fantastic Beasts so far was actually my favorite.
So when I say Empire Strikes Back, I mean it grabs a lot and then throws it up in the air and says, end of film. So you're like, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah,
So
they said beforehand, what was your favorite between this movie and the first Fantastic Beasts? Which one do you consider your favorite? And tell me why, because I like
Okay.
it. Go ahead.
So, personally, I enjoyed the first one more. I mean, I'm a Harry Potter fan and J.K. Rowling fan, but I did enjoy the first one more.
Right.
Because, as you said earlier, it could stand alone. So you
Right.
could just enjoy it. Whereas this one, as you said before, it did involve multiple storylines that you had to follow because, you know, they were happening chronologically, but you had to jump back and forth between each other and pay attention.
Yeah.
So it was a lot more, you know, you had to be very, very engaged. And
I agree.
I'm one of those people that when I go to movies, I just want to sit back and enjoy.
Yes, and
If
I
it involves
and I
a little
agree.
bit too much thinking,
And
a little bit
that
too much
was
paying
my
attention,
problem.
then it kind of loses me just because I go to just shut
And
my
that was
brain
my
off.
problem. I was thinking a little too much, I think. Sarita, what do you think?
It's kind of a toss-up between the two for me. I really like the first one because it's like you're getting to know new characters, you're getting to see how they're interacting together for the first time, and see how their stories are building together. And then that little twist at the end, it's like,
Careful.
well, it's not
Careful.
over.
Yeah, well,
There's
she didn't say
definitely
there's a
something more
twist.
for
She
them.
just says that.
Oh no, not
Okay.
this movie. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the first
Oh, you
one.
mean when they
Yeah.
all died?
Yeah.
You're talking about the part where they all
Exactly.
died. I
I'm
got
talking
it.
about
Okay,
that twist,
yeah.
that little twist.
Well, she's talking the
that
first film.
Yeah,
the twist
yeah,
at the
yeah.
first
Where they
film.
all died. Oh, they already saw it. Never mind.
People seen the first film.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen the
yeah.
first film, you're probably not going to watch this one.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
got to see the first
Okay.
film before you see
So-
this one. Okay.
Overall,
Oh, here we go.
I personally liked this one a little bit better than the first film because I felt that there were slow spots in the first film where I kind of started to lose a little interest, where this one was very fast-paced. But the first thing that was running through my head is this is Empire Strikes Back. This is absolutely. I felt the pace in this was very fast,
Yeah.
and it literally, as you stated before, it's a bridge. Here's the story from the first film. This is the bridge to fill in all the gaps to go to this story over here.
Right.
Now there might be more than one more story. We don't know, but. I really, really enjoyed this one. I thought there was fantastic story plots, but it really left open a ton of questions. So let's talk acting. What'd you
Well,
think?
I still disagree with you, but I
But
mean,
you're allowed
that's
to
fine.
disagree with
I mean,
me.
the acting
You only
was-
disagree because you're taller
Well,
than me.
let me tell you something. In terms of acting, I mean, how can you can't? I never heard of a bad British actor. There's no way that the Brits can act terribly. I mean,
Well, not that
anytime.
we
running-
could recognize.
I'm running
I
through
think-
my
I
mind.
that
think-
we were
I think
fellow
we hear the
Brits are probably
accent
went,
and our brains
oh,
like
We're
they
meant-
say,
oh,
"Oh,
forsooth, he sucked. He
amazing."
sucketh. He sucketh. Yeah, thou sucketh. Whatever.
What did you guys
Anyway.
think of the acting?
I didn't have.
Because they weren't all British.
No, they weren't.
We are.
I liked it. The acting didn't bother me. I had qualms with one other thing that we can get into later.
Okay.
But the acting.
Not with
was
acting.
super
You had a
good.
qualms with something else.
Something else.
Oh,
I
interesting.
enjoyed the acting.
And,
I
as did I.
love the
But
acting.
she's
I love the acting
she's
too.
What is it?
So-
Is it
yeah.
Anglophile or Anglophile or
An Anglophile.
Anglophile?
Oh,
I
Anglophile.
love Brits.
Love her.
Yep.
Oh, you're Anglophile. That kind of
I
Anglophile.
want to emphasize on the part that you had an
Get out of
issue
my
with.
country.
I-
Well, anyway, what? I'm sorry.
I had issues with particularly two different different scenes, I had issues with the way they were filmed, and that bothered me.
The way I know you can't do spoilers.
No, without spoilers,
But
there
the
was
way,
one
that's
scene.
interesting. We'll have to talk off camera for that.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I can
yeah,
say
yeah.
I can say it without giving too much information. There was one scene in particular that just the use of the camera was done completely different than the whole film.
I know
So,
which scene you're talking about.
While you're watching it,
Interesting.
it throws you off because visually you're just not prepared for it. And then there was one scene where I think there was a green screen used, and I think it was used incorrectly.
Well, if you notice, if you thought
Yeah.
for sure that there was green screen usage, then it
I
was
think it's a
terrible filming.
possibility, Yeah.
It was a bad filming
Yeah,
moment
like
there.
the long shots gave me the impression that it was filmed on a set of some sort. But then, during that same scene, some of the close-ups, I was like, this doesn't. It just wasn't moving correctly.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay.
Okay.
So let's
what do
talk
we-
about ratings.
Okay, here. This is the final. So
Yeah,
I know,
this
you have
is
to,
the
I know
big-
you have to go. I appreciate
Five-star
it.
rating.
No,
So
we go
out of
between
10.
1 and 10, with 10 being the
Now,
highest.
just to emphasize, I do 0.5s and Mark does 0.25s, 5s, and then
Sure.
So you do quarters.
Sure.
He does quarters, I do
Sure.
halves.
You know, because
Okay.
it didn't really get me over it. They're
So
very, very.
let's go with your guys' ratings first.
Well, hold on. There are very, very few movies that I've ever given a 10 to.
Yeah.
Very
Oh.
few.
Right,
They
so-
can't
You're very
even
strict.
really.
So
yes,
both
exactly.
of us kind of agree that if it's a 7 or above, it's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Okay.
so
anything under that is-
so anything under a 7 is meh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With 10
And
being
now,
over
am
the
I
top.
judging this strictly against
No, this is
previous Fantastic
this
Beasts
is you
also?
judging this
Judging
film
this
as
film on
it
its
is.
own, standing on its own,
On
exactly.
its
So
own.
between 1 and
Now,
10.
mind you, it's a sequel, so you can go, don't base it on the first film, but how did you enjoy this film?
Yes.
Knowing what you
Standalone
saw.
film. Yeah, it's
Stand
standalone.
along, knowing that you
film.
watched the
Yeah,
first one.
Scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it I'll do quarters and I'll do 8.75.
Okay, 8.75.
People.
I have.
How about you?
Wow, that's pretty high. 8.75.
I would give it an 8.
You give it an 8. No, you go.
Okay.
You give it an 8?
Yeah.
Lupo, what would you give this? On a scale of 1
I
to 10. Why do I
really-
even ask?
yes.
Why should I ask?
You want to guess
Yeah,
what
a
mine
10.
is? No,
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
it's not a 10. I will give it a solid 9. I
Wow.
really enjoyed this one.
Solid 9. All right.
Mark? He's gonna give it a 6.5.
For you guys who know me and the reviews that I write and how critical I am about movies, I'm prefacing all this for a reason, okay? How critical I am about movies, how I always study the scenes. I don't overthink it, but for this one, it made me think. It made me literally go, well, wait a minute, there's more to that, or wait a minute, isn't there? Why did they stop there? And blah blah blah. 6.
Yeah, I told you. 6 or 6.5.
You scored one
the
of my
point.
movies really low. I gave a movie probably a 7 one time. He gave it a 4.
Oh yeah, it was
I don't
awful.
feel so bad. 6.
No.
Fantastic Beasts is a 6 for me.
And it's a solid 9 for me.
There you go. So you got 9, you got 8, you got 8.75,
But
6.
understand, Mark is not the Harry Potter fan that I am.
You know,
okay?
and I worked at Universal. I
Yeah.
stood in the middle of Diagon Alley. I stood in the middle of a Wizarding World
Doesn't
when there
make
was
you a
no one
fan.
there. In the middle of the night, late at night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I've stood in the middle of all of that, and I'm just waiting for it to hit me. I wanted to hear, choruses and all that kind of stuff.
It's the same. So like if you enjoy the Lord of the Rings film, but you weren't a massive fan of it, that's okay.
That's right.
Same thing with Star Wars.
That's correct.
And Harry Potter.
That's
It's
correct.
not for everybody. Now, personally, the first film for me was really good. I very much enjoyed it. I own it. I watch it on a regular. That's the other one that we have to ask right now. Would you own it?
This one?
Yes.
Hell no.
Absolutely.
Would you own it?
I don't know.
Freaks.
But I don't own a lot of movies.
Nerds.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it something
I
you
really
would
don't
consider?
either, but yeah.
I may watch it again, but I may not own it.
Would you
if
be
it
happy
comes
to
out
get
on
it?
Netflix,
Would you be happy
then
to
I'll
get it
stream
as a
it.
Christmas present? Would you be
If I
happy
got
to
it
get
as a Christmas present, yes.
Yeah.
I would absolutely own this. But I'm a massive
Oh,
Harry Potter
always also tell them, real quick. We saw this in IMAX. Do you
Yes.
guys think it needed to be seen in IMAX?
Personally, so I have tickets to see it again on Thursday in Dolby Screen.
fan. Yeah.
And The whole time I was watching, I was
different
thinking, this is going to be really good
Good
in
in
Dolby.
Dolby. I agree.
Yeah.
IMAX not worth it. If you're going to pay any money to see it in Dolby or to see it regular, don't see it in IMAX, not worth it.
I agree. I will do Dolby over IMAX at any time.
Your opinion.
I enjoyed the sound of it because during
Well, you love Dolby.
yes,
I like Dolby better than IMAX.
but you know, I think it was nice. To me, it just felt like a regular movie
So
screening.
So to be fair with the IMAX, Mark and I were really close
Oh
to the
my
screen.
God.
Okay, because
Yeah, whiplash.
we got our tickets late. Where were you guys in the theater? Were you really close or
So we were further back.
further
The
back?
vibes,
we were
like
now-
halfway
So-
up
He was in B,
towards
I
the
was in
center.
C.
See,
So.
yeah, I was literally second row. He was third row from the screen. And now, honestly, I don't think it's worth seeing in IMAX either.
Agreed.
It's
Agreed.
not an IMAX, oh my gosh type movie.
I don't think it's
And-
worth seeing at all. No, anyway,
But-
but yeah.
Totally worth seeing, especially if you enjoy the franchise. Dolby would probably be the best for you. I would recommend it because although the sounds in there weren't dramatic, I think it would be just fine in a Dolby theater. IMAX to me, it's not worth it, the extra cost. Personal opinion, and I gave this a 9.
Okay.
So,
All right. You got our scores.
yep,
I'm a 6. I may have to give it another chance. I'll give it another chance, but
and a 9.
you know.
I'm Lizzie.
Bernard Jane.
Niffler.
Donald Johnston.
Meg.
Diego Clarkson.
Newt.
You. Awesome. All right, so you guys were in the theater with us when we just watched the premiere of the second film. What is your overall thoughts of this film compared to the first film? What do you guys think?
Oh my god.
It was
Roller
to me, it was
coaster.
absolutely
Roller
incredible.
coaster, great analogy.
So the first film was its own kind of story. It's a backstory about things that we know that you can open up more questions and more, oh my God, so this is back history about little things we know from the Harry Potter universe. But now this one builds its own universe during that time and going back to Hogwarts, literally. That was pretty amazing. Niffler wants the jewels.
I think that the roller coaster, but ending with a plot twist, was just.
Okay, no spoilers, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. Well, it created a dynamic that I don't think I experienced in the first film. I mean, I loved all of them, and you're
Yeah.
right. We were very familiar with the backstory and how it filled in, but this extended that space in amazing ways.
I would say that the first one was a broad look at the 1920s magical world. This one becomes a spider web of connections to everything we know about the magical world in the 90s and 2000s with Harry Potter's timeline. That's true. So now we're seeing all those connections and everything coming together and how this is building that world later.
Got it.
We had a lot of questions from the last movie. We got a lot of answers, but we have more questions for
For
this.
the next
So we had to wait
A lot more
years.
questions.
Exponential more questions, I
Yes.
think, after this one.
So, what's the overall consensus? Did you like it more than the first film? Should I get the light back on?
They go together.
No,
I mean,
but I didn't like it less than the first film. I kind of equal
Okay.
for different reasons.
I think
though.
they're both too different. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Like the first one was a beautiful origin story. This one is telling you so much more and giving you so much more background.
Gotcha.
And it's more of an adventure story, whereas the other one was kind of more of storytelling.
We used the term a bridge in the earlier review. It was a bridge. Now, I described it as the Empire Strikes Back of the Fantastic Beasts. It was like, it ended and you're like, not now, there's too many more questions.
Yes, that's
you know?
pretty accurate.
The
yeah.
big comment afterwards was like, what do you mean we're waiting 2 more years
Yep.
for the next?
Yeah.
And I think that is artful.
Yeah.
You know, to leave you wanting and willing to wait 2 years, not patiently, but we'll be back because how can you not?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
very different though, just like the first one, because you can't read it first.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So you have
to
no
watch
idea
it.
what's going to happen.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
So, how would you rate it, starting on the left?
9 3/4.
9 3/4. That's brilliant. Wish I had thought of that.
I rate it like that, 9 3/4, 10. I mean, it was
Loved it.
magical. Yeah.
An 11.
thumbs
Good.
up.
I don't know. There you go. I would give it. I hate giving things a perfect score, so I would also say like a 9.5, 9 3/4. Let's go with that. Just because nothing is perfect, but it was pretty freaking close.
For me, I would probably say, I don't know, I think a 10. I thought it was pretty perfect on its own. Maybe I'll find flaws in the future, but for now, kind of instant reaction is 10.
9 3/4.
I know 9 3/4 is the magical answer, but it's a 10.
10? All right, I'm Lupo.
I'm Lee.
And this is Lupo and Lee Reviews.
With our wonderful guest here, Sherry
Yes,
and
thank
Sarita.
you guys so much. Please
It's
like
so
and
wrong.
subscribe
It's so wrong.
and visit our sister channel. See you next week.
Bye.